Now with spy baiting, one of the things that I've really found over the last few years that's made a huge difference is the equipment that you're using. So typically what I'm using is about a 6'9" to 7 foot medium to medium light rod. I don't think the rod has as much impact as the reel and the line does. Your drop shotting rod will do just fine for spy baiting. You don't want to use anything stiffer than your drop shotting rod because you're using pretty light line, just like when you're out drop shotting. Now the reel for me, I like a bigger reel. So I'm using a 40 series reel here. I like a bigger reel for a few reasons. One, it lets me put a lot more of this braid or super line on there. I'm using Fireline Crystal. Right now I'm using 6-pound Fireline Crystal, and having a bigger, deeper spool, I can get a lot more line on there because you're making really long casts, as much as you can when you're spy baiting. The different gears, they're a lot bigger in a bigger reel like this, which means there's more surface area for the drag to be able to push on itself, so you get a much more sensitive drag. The drag is critically important when you're fighting fish around the boat. These hooks are so small that if you don't have your drag set properly and a smooth drag, you're going to lose a lot of fish as they pull out and they pull those hooks out of their mouths. Now when it comes to the line, I think the line is the piece that has the biggest impact on the way the bait will move and work. Having a braid or super line backing is critically important. Reason being, you're making such long casts that you need to have something that you have the ability to set the hook even if it's out on the end of the cast. So having a good braid backing, a good super line backing is really important. And then what you're going to do is you're going to connect your backing to a fluorocarbon leader. I use the Crazy Alberto knot. The fluorocarbon leader, 6, 8, maybe up to 10 pound. Depends on who you're fishing with. I know Kenny likes 10. For me, I'll often use 6, and there's a very big difference between 6 to 8 to 10 pound. And what it does when you're using a spy bait, one of the features of the spy bait that makes a fish bite is what they call listing. Listing is when the bait rocks back and forth as it's going through the water. The thicker the line that you've got, so the heavier the pound test, the more drag that you have as it's coming through the water, the more drag on the line, the slower and less of a rock you're gonna get back and forth. So experiment with the leader, but make sure it's fluorocarbon, because no matter what, you are moving that bait nice and slow. Fish are gonna see it from a long way out. They're gonna have to come up and grab it. And if they're gonna grab it, a nice fluorocarbon leader, it's one of the, I guess, most invisible types of fishing line that you can use under the water. So that's what you need, and that's what you need to know to be able to get yourself set up properly to go out and use a spin bait and have yourself out spy baiting successfully on the water.